Like the category of these problems we have, the levels of input that minimize the cost. And I've kind of said this before. Cost of producing Y units will depend on input prices and output. So we're going to have x1, which is a function of w1, w2, and y. Then we're going to have our other input, x2 star. The amount of x2 we should be using to minimize costs is going to be x2 as a function of the same things. And we're going to call these, y is should be there, and we're going to call these derived factor demands. Or sometimes they're called conditional factor demand functions, because they're conditional on how much we're producing. So they're conditional on output. Okay, so it's important to see that these are different than what we saw in that last chapter. What we saw in the last chapter was how much of these inputs we should be using to maximize profit when we had some price of output. Here, these are the amount of each of the inputs we should use to minimize the cost of producing Y amount of output. Those are different things. So these conditional factor demand functions are different than what we saw last chapter. Those were profit maximizing levels of input for some output price, P. These are input levels to minimize the cost of producing Y output. So these are different things, so let's not make sure we don't confuse them. Okay.